The first tactic that I will share with you is going to be on Murovanka from the north spawn. The idea will be to go here and take control over this low ground, outspot camping TDs and make sure that nobody can leave from the forest, because we are getting very close to them, spotting them, and enemies can't do anything about it. Let me show you how it's done. This tactic will work with any tank, but I like to have a medium with at least a little bit of turret armor. This will help us to pick aggressively on the middle and make it harder for enemies to kill us. Step number 1 is to take control over the middle. Usually you meet an enemy on the opposite side, and luckily for us, EBR90 in the enemy team wasn't so experienced, and after taking a few hits left me alone. This allowed me to get use of my commander vision system and camouflage of the tank to outspot enemies playing on the hill, like this Indian Panzer. Next, I want to make sure that there are no enemies in the bushes in front of me. And you can get this information by paying attention whether you are getting spotted or not. That's why armored medium is nice in this position. You can just peek on the ridgeline, expose your tank and fire to drop your camouflage. This will make it much easier for enemies to outspot you, and that's exactly what we need. If you are getting spotted, that means there is an enemy hiding in the bushes around. But seeing how we have half of the team in the forest, I decided to risk it. It's crucial to pay attention to how many teammates are playing the forest area. And in this battle, we have an overwhelming number. That gives me the confidence to push in front of them and try to spot. This low ground perfectly hides me from every angle on the map, apart from the forest that we just left. For the enemies to get rid of us, they have to cross quite a lot of open space and be open for our teammates in the back. At this point, you just spot, do damage, and enjoy profits at the end of the game. Our second tactic is going to be on Sand River. It will only work if our team is abandoning this flank straight from the beginning, or if we are losing it during the fight. For this to work, you're gonna need at least a couple of tanks on the base to create a crossfire, and enemies never will be able to push this. Originally, I learned about this position on Discord server in our secret channel, where we share overpowered positions like this. I will create an invite link to this channel if you want to get an advantage and learn a lot more cool positions like this. Right now I'm playing Super Conqueror, and as you can see, our team is not playing north. This is amazing for us, because we know this insane position in A1. On my way there, I want to knock these palms, as later we will be using it to shoot unspotted. Now you drive up to the red line and position your tank in a way where you can shoot comfortably. With the Super Conqueror, it's very easy. We have turret armor and minus 10 degrees of gun depression. But I've been using this position with all sorts of tanks. If your vehicle does not have gun depression, position your tank parallel to the red line. Terrain in this area will make it super easy to use your gun. But I just wish it would fix my skill issues. Just a single tank in this position can stop an enemy push. Since you can drop down to safety after getting spotted, it makes it very challenging for the enemy to dig me out of here, resulting in full HP Type 63 dying absolutely for nothing. It's crucial to ensure that enemies won't gain control over the north. Once that's the case, they most likely to push next to your base, and it will be a nightmare to deal with them. And this is just an example. By the way, another super good position that is being used by P43, and you can remember it yourself whenever you have to defend your base when the enemies are coming from south or when you are attacking. There is a similar position on the opposite side of Sand River. Right now, I'm trying to defend this flank by spotting for my team with the CDC. We will get back to this clip later in the video, when I will be talking about importance of keeping the flank alive and how to gain map control back. In general, if you want to influence games and win more, try not to give enemies map control and learn positions like this to make it harder for enemy to break through the flank. Tactic number 3 is going to be on El Halluf. Without thinking much, we want to be sitting on this ridgeline, making sure that enemy light tanks have an amazing game outspotting us, right? No. This is how you lose. To win more games, you want to make sure to take control over this area. If enemy gain control over it, they will be able to play everywhere here in complete cover and pick you from whatever direction they want. To prevent that from happening, I will show you 3 different positions to improve your odds of winning El Halluf. First will be for fast armored tank to go to A1 and stop enemies from doing the same. After that, you are able to rotate just like so and get in close combat. Second is a position for tanks with good gun depression and turret armor, to push these guys away, as well as having vision and control over the rotation. Lastly, an OP position here, which you can use with any tank, always have first shot advantage without getting spotted. Let's have a look at the first scenario with a fast armored tank. A medium like Object 430 or a TD like Object 263 will also work. All you need is speed and a little bit of turret armor. Unfortunately for us, there is 2 RT in the enemy team. But our presence here is required just to stop enemies from advancing. We want to be tactical and let them know that they can't peek without losing HP. This is stopping enemies from getting any sort of insight on our rotations, and we can get much closer without them realizing it, or without being able to do much about it. Of course, rotations like this might cost you a little bit of the HP, but you know what they say, ein bisschen Verlust ist immer. Aggressive plays like this are costly. Enemy team playing defensive has huge advantage, and I like to say that first team to push will lose. That's why make sure to monitor HP of your teammates and get back if you notice that they are trading badly. Second position will fit any tank with over 8 degrees of gun depression. Here I'm using Rhino, but I've been enjoying this spot with tanks like UDAS 1516, STRV-103B, Prototypo 6, you name it. Using our gun depression, we can pick enemies hugging the wall. This will force them back eventually. And have we had a fast tank with armor trying to go A1, now he would be able to do it much safer. From this position, you can also bleed enemies trying to reach A1. In this clip, I got lucky enough to double track Object 75A and kill him totally for free. The third position was discovered kind of by accident. As you can see, we have enemy Object 260 taking A1. Now we are forced away from this corner. I knew that I can be safe from him if I move just a little bit to the left. I wanted to spot enemy rotations to make sure they won't get close for free. And that's where it struck me, that by knocking this tree down, it provides me enough camo to spot the corner on the opposite side without getting spotted myself. I tried all sorts of tanks, FE4K5, Grill 15, Jagdpanzer E100. As long as enemy don't get very close, as this Type 5, you always have first shot advantage without getting spotted. Knowing tactics like the ones I showed you today is great, but every game plays a little bit different, and therefore it's important to be able to adjust your plan depending on the given situation in the game. To train this, I will show you 3 specific scenarios in which it was necessary to adapt, and we will try to learn from it. First example, I'm playing M5Y on Studzianki. As you can see, our team lost south and enemies are getting better and better angle on us. If IS-7 and Object 268V4 would be getting spotted, I could farm them. However, my mediums, Leopard 1, Budget 25T and Gorilla 15 are full HP and unfortunately just waiting for enemies to make mistakes. But these IS-7 and Object 268v4 don't even need to get spotted, as they have shots on me and the rest of the heavy tanks in this kind of city area. This passive gameplay from our mediums is going to lose us game in just a moment. The play here would be to push IS-7 and Object 268v4. Heavy tanks like myself would be able to assist my mediums with side shots, and suddenly our situation would be much better. Using your HP to repush flank and get map control back is crucial. Once you master this skill, your win rate will skyrocket. But these maneuvers require you taking risks, and my medium tanks in this battle decided to play safe instead. Unfortunately, meantime, we've lost 2 can openers and enemies are starting to push in. Despite being full HP, I'm dead in a matter of seconds. Despite having full HP, Budget 25T, Leopard 1 and Gorilla 15, there is no chance to win this game anymore. Once they are getting spotted, they are getting shot from every direction. Usually I tell you to save your HP until the end of the battle, and often that's a good advice. But you also need to recognize situations that requires you to throw your HP into the fight. Our second example is going to be with IMX-CDC on Sand River. The situation here is very similar to the one on Studzianki. We are losing a flank, but this time it's north instead. Previous example demonstrated very clearly that your HP can evaporate quite quickly if you are surrounded. Mindful of this, I want to provide vision for my team on approaching enemies. Since we have 2 boards in the enemy team, I need to get quite close in order to be able to outspot them. Have I sat behind next to my tank destroyers, this would never work. That's why I go in front of my team and work as a fuse. I really like to use this term to describe a situation in which I am playing in front of my teammates and I am either gathering information or distracting enemies, so that my teammates can sit safely behind, provide support from the distance without getting blown up to pieces. As long as my team don't make any major mistakes, there is no way for the enemies to kill them without getting rid of me first. But since I'm covered, enemies will have to pay a heavy price to do it. World of Tanks is a team-based game. It's much easier to win games when you aren't alone, and personally, I love to help my team shine. In this situation, I took responsibility to cover the flank and spot for my team. Despite the efforts, my tank destroyers on the hill unfortunately did not manage to stay unspotted, and some of them died. This can be a problem, as right now I'm getting surrounded. In situations like this, the worst thing you can do is to panic. First thing I want to do is to make Progetto one shot. This will stop him from being way too aggressive and potentially saving us 700 HP. Next, you want to avoid crossfire. That's why I pushed away from the red line, so that guard cannot get an easy shot on me. With the Borat down, the situation is a lot better. We just have to make sure we pan our shots on guard. And now, ingenious play. Seeing that Borat is doing damage on our Chrysler, I'm deciding to push straight towards him. Even if Borat is going to hold the angle, he is going to be peeking just enough to spot the Chrysler. That's why I want to push straight towards him, going a little bit on the right. That is going to make me close up the distance without him knowing that I'm coming. If I do take even a full clip of the Borat, I still have enough HP to kill him while he's reloading. And this gentleman right here is how being a fuse can help your team, and an example that you shouldn't be afraid of using your HP. I was playing IMX-CDC against double Borat, Progetto and guard, fighting them all alone. And honestly, my back kinda hurts. I carried this game. You can say, iyouxin, there is no I in the team. Well, what about M and E, huh? Just kidding. Let's go to our final example. And here I'm playing Caliban in tier 10 matchmaking. Notice that most of our team is pressuring north of the map, while on my flank we just have 2 tier 8 tanks and 1 tier 9 medium. We can already see that at least 2 tier 10 enemy tanks were spotted here, and that's why I decided to stay a little bit behind. I can always push up to 50 TP if needed, but if I commit and enemies start pushing, I will be too slow to retreat. And this is exactly what is happening to the 50 TP. Without information, he pushed too far and now cannot escape. There is no way we can save this 50 TP. But he's winning us time, and we need to use this time to retreat if we don't want to share the same fate. Whenever you are in this situation yourself, you can either go on the hill or play by this rock. Being on the top of the hill is always nice, but you need someone to spot for you. Otherwise, after a shot or two, enemies will close up to you. This is why I decided to stay by the rock, spot for my team, and try to keep a little bit of map control for as long as possible. And I just hope that my team will take positions on the hill. The beauty of my position is that to kill me, enemies will bleed on the crossings, and even after that have to overpick and expose themselves to my team on the hill. To influence games and win more, it's important to pay attention to the minimap and analyze it. If you ever play north of Mountain Pass and notice that south collapsing, try to come back to the hill. Anyone stuck in my position might not get out of it alive, but with the competent teammates supporting, can change outcome of the battle. Try to recognize situations in which a teammate is acting as a fuse, and make sure to get the most out of the time that tank wins for you. Sadly, you can't win them all, and this round ended on a loss. But even from the worst of the games, we can learn. And my friends, I hope you enjoyed my analysis, tips and positions. And if you would like to furthermore improve your understanding on how to read minimap, influence games and win more, I highly recommend you check this Leopard 1 video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was worth your time, and I wish to see you here again.